Hello, third grade. This is your how-to video on math class. Everyday math class is going to have three parts to it. The first part you're going to have is facts. When we're done with our facts, we'll move on to our power-up, and then we'll get into our main concept, our lesson for the day. Every day we'll start out with these facts. Now, some days it'll change how we do it. So you've got two sides on it. Some days we'll do one side together. Some days we'll say the answers out loud. It'll really depend on what we're going to do for that day, but every day you will have these facts. Now, facts are an awesome, awesome practice for you to get very, very fluent and quick with your math problems. So the faster that we can get on our math facts, the faster your math homework will be completed. After we're done with our facts, we'll move on to our power-up. Now, our power-up, we've got another sheet to go with that. Okay? So our power-up right at the top, you can see there's going to be a letter to it. So I've got letter A at the top of this one. Then I've got these facts down at the bottom. Sorry, facts at the top here. And then we've got a mental math portion and a problem-solving portion. Okay? I'll show you in your book where that is in a little bit, but every day we'll have maybe some counting, then we'll do the mental math problems followed by our problem solving at the bottom of the page. Once we're done with our problem solving, we'll move into our new lesson. Our new lesson every day will have a couple parts. First, I'll teach you what our new concept is. Maybe it's something with addition, something with money, something with division. Whatever the new concept is, this is where I'll teach you it. Then we'll practice a little bit, practice with me. Then you'll get into your written practice. Now, every day your written practice is going to be done on a third sheet like this. It'll have all these boxes on it, and you'll do your work in the big boxes, and then over at the side, you'll write your answer so that it makes it really easy for Miss Bryan and I to check. When you are done with all three of those things, you will have successfully completed math for that day. So always remember we got three parts. 1, our facts, 2, our power-up, and 3, our lesson. Now quick, let me show you it in our book so that you can see a little bit closer up. Let's take a look at what one lesson in your math book would look like. You would have already completed both sides of our facts for that day. You can see that with lesson 1, we're actually going to have facts 6. So the facts number will be different from the lesson number, but that's okay. Lesson 1 is going to start. This is the power-up that I was talking about. So you can see here on the facts, we'll have facts A, and then there's some counting. This one says count by 2s from 2 to 20. We'll do that, and then we'll follow with that mental math. Now, at the beginning of the year, I went ahead and I wrote by A, I wrote 20 plus 10, which is the same thing that it's going to say right here in your book. Okay? You do not need to write the problem. You're just going to write the answer in the power-up. So you would just write 30 in that box. Then for B, 34 plus 10, you'd go ahead and write the answer, 44, in that box, and so on until you're done with A through G. Then at the bottom, you can see that problem solving. Now, our first two power-ups, I went ahead and just wrote that problem right here as well. You do not need to do that every time. I was just trying to help you figure out where the problem that you're supposed to be solving for problem solving is. And you can see it says problem solving right here at the side. Problem solving there should match the work that you're doing for problem solving here. When we're done with our problem solving, that's when we'll move into our lesson. Many times I'll have you flip over your power-up. Your power-up is blank, and I'll have you do some work on the back as I'm teaching so that you can do some work with paper and pencil and be able to get some clear ideas there. If you turn it over, you can see that at the top left, we have our first new concept. So, being that it's our first lesson, our new concept, we're going to review addition. So our vocab words are going to be in blue throughout. I'll go through and I will teach you all of the information here. I'll go through and I'll model how to do some of these examples. On the next page, we've got some more examples as well. You can see it's always really helpful at the bottom that we've got lesson 1 right here. If you turn too far and you see all of a sudden I got lesson 2 here, then you'll know that you turned too far. When we get into the lesson practice, this is what we'll do some of together. And then that will be the end of me teaching the new lesson. We'll now be into our written practice. Now, our written practice is what's going to be done on this sheet. So at the top, I'll always have lesson number 1 for you. I'll have what pages we're on, page 12 and 13. And then make sure that you write your name. And then when you're completed with it, make sure that you have a parent or someone check and look over your work and make sure that you did your best work on all of our problems. You can see I set up number 1 for you. So number 1 says, there were 5 students in the first row, 7 students in the second row. How many students were in the first 2 rows? Well, this is a sum plus some more problem to get the total. Now, the total sum of this, if I do 5 plus 7, I get 12. So I do 5 plus 7 equals 12. I get 12 students. I think it's always helpful to circle your final answer. Once I get 12 students, I'm going to go ahead and write that over here in the box. You just want your answer in these boxes at the side. You want all of your work done in these boxes. Now, the more work you can show, the better, because that helps me as I'm able to see maybe where you're struggling or where you really understand it. Helps me teach you when I see that you have a ton of work done. Some problems you're not going to show very much work. For example, number 3 says 9 plus 4. Well, 9 plus 4 is just a fact. So 9 plus 4, 13. 13 goes here. That's it. Piece of cake. Okay, you'll have 30 problems at the beginning of the year. I'll have more of them set up for you. And then by the end of the year, we'll be getting towards doing more of those problems by ourselves, on our own. And then we want to make sure that just always doing your best work on all of these problems, and always ask questions if you don't understand something. Don't just guess. Always ask either an adult, ask me, ask anyone you can to help do your best work on all of your problems. When you're done with all 30, once again, that's when you would have a parent sign that you've done your best work and have done an awesome job for the day.